This is Gemara Baba Basra, Daf Samach Vav, and today's learning we like to dedicate as an incredible schos aliyas deshama for Yehuda ben Daniel Ben-ציון B'siyata deshmaya, the father of a long-time member of our Daf Yomi Clear Hashem. The learning of the entire Chabura should bring Yehuda ben Daniel Ben-ציון higher and higher in Gan Eden Shalmaila, closer to the Kisei HaKavod, and of course be a milatz yesher for his entire incredible mishpacha. As he shevs nachas from his children, what greater nachas than a son sitting and learning Torah each and every day? So we turned over to Samach Vav Amud Aleph. Let's just backtrack for a quick moment and look back as the Gemara really is middle of this a long discussion, which is a machlekes Rav Eliezer and the Chachamim. And the crux of the machlekes, when we look back at Samachei Amud Beis, is two different braisas. The Gemara began with a braisa, Hamoicher Zabayis, Macher Zadeles. The question was, when you sell a house, what about the items that are a chakuka, machteshes as a chakuka, but not the kavua? Rav Eliezer says that whatever is mechover lekarka is kikarka. Now that's really the critical nikuda that we're going to come back to, which is at what level something is considered a karka or not. We continue with another brisa, and this is a brisa mikvahis of a tziner shechakul of seif kavu. They have a pipe that's first chiseled out and then connected to the ground. The apostles, the mikvah, it's considered a kli. And the question was, who is the Tana? It's either Rav Eliezer nor the Rabbanan. If Rav Eliezer Abayis, then maybe so we're trying to see how these different machlekes play off each other. So we said, you know, the shita of the brace of Sina Shechakul B'Seiv Kavu that said it passes up the mikvah, whereas if it's first attached to the ground and then it chisel out, it does not passel up the mikvah. We said Vela Rav Eliezer the Kaveres Devayrim. That's really where we pick it up. 3 lines at the bottom of Samachei Amud Beis, which the Gemara says we're dealing with Rav Eliezer of the Braisa of Kaveres, which is a beehive, Devayrim of bees. Titinan. Kaveres, Devayrim, 2 lines at the bottom of Samachei Amud Beis. Rav Eliezer Omereu Kikarka V'Kozla Prosbol. This beehive is a din of karka. And one of the tremendous nafkaminas for something of a din of karka is that if it is karka, you can write a prosbol on it. A prosbol is a document saying that when Shemitah comes, Shemitah comes and cancels out loans. But if someone has karka, then the loan is transferred onto the karka, and then it is not, Shemitah does not cancel out that loan. So it says the Braisa, a beehive will have a din of karka, you can write a prosbol on it. And similarly, it's not a mekabel tuma in its place. It's considered karka, therefore it's not mekabel tuma. The haroida mimenu, in a third application of something be considered karka, that if someone takes honey out of it, roida, you go down literally from it b'Shabbos on Shabbos, you are chayiv chatos. Considered a chatos. Why? It's considered attached to the ground. So different than picking an apple off a tree. It's considered toilesh. You're detaching something from the ground, and therefore you're chayiv chatos, says Rav Eliezer. Chachamim Aimrim comes on the Chachamim, and they teach, no, Einoi ki karka, does not have a din of karka, and therefore the 3 applications, because la brosval, umekavel tuma mimkaima, it's yes mekabel tuma, like detached items, and v'aroid men of Shabbos, you're a potter. Of course, you remind yourselves all the way back to the beginning of Shas, that what does potter mean? Potter aval aser. It's still aser, of course. It's just not a de'araisa. So machlekes Chachamim and Rav Eliezer as to the status of this beehive. And the Gemara assumes right now that we have a beehive that generally first you build the beehive and then you attach to the ground. So what do we see? We see the Rav Eliezer is the opinion that has a din of karka, and therefore that will be a stira to the din of the mikvah, in which we saw over there that it's considered a kli. Over here, Rav Eliezer is holding it's a din of karka, and over there he's holding it's a din of a kli. Explains the Gemara, Hasan, there is a way of saying that it's not a stira in Rav Eliezer. Kidam Rav Eliezer taima, that what? Dam Rav Eliezer, my taima Rav Eliezer. Explains Rav Eliezer what is the reason of Rav Eliezer d'chsev. It's a special din. He dipped it into the forest of honey. For the fact that honey is called a ya'ar, is called a forest. What does this teach us? Says Rav Elazar, explaining the sheet of Rav Eliezer. Mayar, just like a forest. So says the Gemara, even though it seems that it's a steer in Rav Eliezer, no! The din of honey is a special din. Really, Rav Eliezer holds, like he says in Din of Mikvah, that a tziner shechakiku, if you chisel it out and then you attach it, it has the din of a kli. It's not considered karka. The case of the honey, no, that case is different. Why is that case different? That case is different because a special pasuk that equates honey to ya'ar, which therefore says that it's going to have a din of karka, and will be chayiv on a deraisa level if you remove it from the ground. Continues the Gemara, so we're still trying to figure out who is the sheet of Rav Eliezer that doesn't fit with the brayso of mikvah. Ella Rav Eliezer the daf. Must Rav Eliezer about a daf. What's this Rav Eliezer? Ditanan, 6 lines at the bottom, daf shel nachtainim. Nachtaimin, a board of a baker. Shekavu bekaisel, they used to sell the breads. They would have a board sticking into the walls they pile the breads on. So you have a bread of a baker that's attached to the wall. Rav Eliezer mitahir. Rav Eliezer says it is tar, it is not mekabel tama, it's considered karka. V'chachamim mitamim v'cham say no, it is considered a separate clear, for it is mekabel tama. So says the Gemara, seemingly Rav Eliezer is a stira. Because again over here, regardless whether the board is made or not prior, we see over here it has a din of karka. Says the Gemara Mani. Who is, let's go back to the din, the case of the brayso of the mikvah. Who is the Tana? Rav Eliezer, even if it was first chiseled and then attached to the ground, it should not have a din of a kli, should have a din of karka. It should yes have a din of a kli nami. So now we're stuck. This was the kash of the Gemara. Who are the Tana of the din of the mikvah? So says the Gemara, it's not so shver. No, let them Rav Eliezer, 2 lines to the bottom. I could fit it with Rav Eliezer. When it came to the baker, it sounded like it always is a din of karka. You know why? V'shani pshutik li'etz, a flat piece of wood is different. Tituma dirabanan, as the din of tuma dirabanan, and that's the reason why it always din of karka. But normally Rav Eliezer will hold, like he says by mikvah, that it would depend whether it's chakul b'sayif kavu or kavu b'sayif chakaku. Says the Gemara, wait. From the fact that you're telling me this din of the bread of the baker is derabanan, it sounds clearly michlal d'she'iva deraisa. Sounds like the case of the mikvah. Sounds like that's the comparison. That's the contrast. Sounds like that is a din deraisa. But ask the Gemara as we turn over to Samach Vavam Beis. 1 second. But we hold that what? The din of Shuvim, that which passes the mikvah drawn water, is a din derabanan. Furthermore, ask the Gemara V'oid. Homer Rav Yisrael Chanina taught us b'dav shel mateches. That what are we talking about in the case of the bakery? We're talking about a board made out of metal. And if it's a board made out of metal, the kasha is that such tumah, is that tumah derabanan? That's tumah deraisa. So says the Gemara, b'dav shel mateches machlaikas. So says the Gemara, we have to have a new way of learning the way the Rav Eliezer Chacham could fit. So says the Gemara, Lo'ilam, you know what I'll tell you? We'll tell you, the case of the mikvah is Rabbanani. How could it be the Rabbanan? V'shayni she'iva de Rabbanan. We go the opposite way. The case of mikvah is a din de Rabbanan, and that's the reason why the Rabbanan are going to apply that only if it's first attached to the ground. If it's hollowed out and then attached to the ground, it will not possible because it's a din derabanan, but it's not a stira. It's how Rabbanan hold in the case of the baker's board. He says, wait, it's a din derabanan, 4 lines down, even if it's first chiseled out and then attached, it should also not possible. Says the Gemara, shiny awesome, the Torah is clear love vitalish. No, since it has a Torah as clear, you're right. It's only a din derabanan. And if totally did the Rabbanan, we would have reason to be Mekel. But says the Gemara, because Lamaisa at the Torah is Kli, there's no way to be Mekel in that scenario. So Bayi Rav Yosef, once we're on to the topic of items being Makabel Toma, says the Gemara, Megishamim. 7 lines down, rainwater, Shechashav Aleim Ladiach Esa Israbolin. You have rainwater that you have in mind, that you want to use that water to wash off the mill. Ma'u Lizraim. What is the story? Does that rainwater make his zuraim, his seeds, mekabel tama? Do we say that this mill is considered a karka, and therefore the rainwater will not make it? Do we say, therefore the rainwater will not make the seeds tame? Or do we say no, that the rainwater is considered detached, and therefore just like the rainwater will make this keli mekabel tama, so too will make the zuraim, the seeds, mekabel tama? So explains the Gemara, leave it there. According to Rav Eliezer, everything attached, then of karka is not a kasha. What's the kasha? Leave it there. Rabbanon. Damri einoi ke karka. The Rabbanon, all that which is attached to the ground does not have a din of karka. So Ma'u, what is the story when you think and you have conscious intent for rainwater to utilize it for Yisarbulin, your mill? Will it make your zirai mekabel tama or not? Says the Gemara, Teku. It is a shayla. We have to wait for Eliyahu Navi. And one more last shtickle Taira, says the Gemara, Shagli Rav Nechemia B'Reid Rav Yisrael Rav B'Reid Rav Huna Zuta L'Nahar Dai Ki Asay Hach Itza Likamach. When this woman comes before you, a woman who's coming to collect her dowry, says the Gemara, as we turn over to tomorrow's daf, Samach Zayin Amid Aleph, Agaba, let her collect Easter Nechasim Afilu Mr. Abuli Direchaim, and of course that's what it's coming out over here. She can even collect it from the Abuli, from the millstone. The Gemara bringing down this Gemara as this proves to us that this is Shabuli as a din of Karka. The Gemara concludes, Amare Ravashi Gavina Beir of Kana Magvinon. Feel me alma debati. I let her collect even from the rent from the houses, and therefore it's not necessarily a raya. Pick it up from the Mishnah, B'siyata Dishmaya.